are these artificial intelligence music creating devices capable of creating new genres of music? I mean, I won't start necessarily going too deep on the magnificence of Beethoven, but beyond the starting of the Romantic era and being one of the pioneers of the Romantic era, he has this little obscure piece named the Grosse Fugue. And Igor Stravinsky once described it as it's contemporary and it will always be contemporary. And if anyone who does not necessarily know it's a Beethoven piece listens to it, it truly sounds like a piece of modern music. Mm-hmm. And to think that there existed these type of human beings that could create music that had never been heard before is something that is quite extraordinary. Maybe another composer of our time that kind of creates new sounds. A lot of it is going in the movie industry, but Hans Zimmer, for example, is someone that creates new sounds in music that have not necessarily been heard before. Are the current techniques capable of creating sounds that are new to us? Are they capable of creating new genres?
Okay, so the first part is, are they capable of creating new sounds that we've never heard before? Yes, and that's not news. This has been the ability of synthesis engines, computer synthesis technology for many years, since the 50s, with particular labs like Bell Labs in the US, with Max Matthews' music language for programming computers to synthesize sound, to John Chowning's frequency modulation synthesis, which was a very successful, commercially successful synthesis technology that allowed one to create realistic sounding brass and strings, to physical modeling synthesis, where you can model the string, bridge, body physics and make it sound like a string, but you can also change the density of the string. You can make the string as long as a bridge, and see what it would sound like plucked, right? Plucked really hard, or struck with a hammer, or struck with something. So you can create sounds that you've never heard before very easily. You don't need artificial intelligence to do that. But modern day technology, the hype is AI. You have the DDSP approach, differentiable digital signal processing approach, that allows one to construct a neural model of an instrument timbre, and this is using additive synthesis techniques that have been around for dozens of years to generate sounds that can be in between two instruments or what have you. All of this technology has existed for a long time. Now, creating new genres. I don't know what you mean by genre, but I think you mean like music style. Or you go into you'd go into a record store and there'd be, there still exist record stores today. There's blues, there's jazz, there's rock, there's electronica. Maybe you see within rock, you see punk, and you see all these other things that you can then search through. So I think you mean style, but genre is a very complicated term that involves rules and value systems and things that are far outside of the actual object that you're talking about. It involves people's relationships to those objects and how they speak about them. Can these systems create new genres of music, or new styles of music? We'll wait and see how long these kinds of languages or these styles stick around. But again, I can say that this has already appeared, and without any kind of technology. Well, I mean, you have John Cage, a composer, an American composer, laying sheet music on to star maps, or vice versa, star maps onto sheet music, and then poking holes through the random distribution of stars on these star maps. And then you lift up the star map, and there you have the notes to be played in the composition. Music no one's ever heard before. right? Or using the I Ching to decide what notes get played where. This is aleatoric music. Aleatoric music is a style that has been around and is used as a device, a musical device in compositions today. And then, before that you had musique concrète, where recordings of sound, pieces of tape would be spliced together. And you have another John Cage composition is Williams Mix, which says, 5 seconds of sound from a cityscape, 3 seconds of sound from a public pool, 10 seconds of sound from a busy highway. And it gives instructions for composing a piece of tape music from, a collection, archive of recordings from these different environments. New sounds, new music no one's ever heard of. And even before then, you had Georges Antheil, an American composer, involving machines and car horns and boat horns in a composition. I think it's called Ballet Mécanique. And, one of the earliest pieces involving these machines, these car horns, and creating these pieces of music. Now, it's academic. It's not popular music. No one's singing Ballet Mécanique. But it's, again, the involvement of technology and machines for creating sounds no one ever heard of in that context. AI is no different.